why do this? I mean, there's so many options for you out there, so many different places to put your expertise. Why here in Lakewood?
Well, I think it's a pretty good place. I mean, if you happen to look at what's here, and look what's going on, and look what's going on in our world today, these kids that come back and need our help, it's a pretty good place to be.
You had a chance to meet with some of the vets who were going to play here, who have played here.
I've met them on several occasions and been around in several places and seen them around the country in different places. And I've seen Leroy in several places before, and Jim Marks in several places before, and some of the other guys I've seen around the country and here. And it's really kind of it pulls at your heart, when you see the guys and you see what help they need. So the little part we're doing is just a very, very small part of what they do.
You played some golf in your time. We heard about how it can help with the rehab. What do you think the benefits of golf are to somebody who's trying to get over physical and mental?
Well, I think they regain a self-confidence, being able to concentrate, to be able to self-assess, being able to whether they hit the ball 30 yards or they hit it 300 yards, it really doesn't make much difference. It's actually getting out and doing something, being part of it, and doing with people that are having the same problems that they're having, whether it's mentally or physically or whatever it is. It's a great therapy.
You said maybe this is just the start. Do you see this idea and your involvement spreading past?
Well, I hope so. That was one of the reasons that we've been talking about it quite a bit, because we're hoping that in other parts of the country that there's many VA hospitals that have land, and there's some that did have golf courses and some that don't. It could happen in a lot of places, but it's most of it's coming from private money, private donations from people and so forth. And this project has taken a while. Of course, we decided we start this thing just at the right time, just about 5 years ago when nobody had any money for the next 5 years. And now we're getting the golf course started, under construction. We've got a little bit more money that needs to be raised for a few things, but for all intents and purposes, I think we can get this thing going and get it done.
Will the design of the course be any different than you normally design?
Oh, I would. Yeah, you're going to have to accommodate. Getting in and out of a bunker with a solo rider. I think that's a little different than what you would normally anticipate. You're going to have you're going to run the riders and onto the greens and everything else. So you're going to have to accommodate all those things. And I think it's amazing what they've done here. They did here years ago with $25,000 to do 9 holes of golf. We're going to come here and we're trying to raise several $1 million to do a second 9 holes. So, and then we're going to come back and redo a bit of the front 9 too. So. Hopefully when we finish up here, we're not going to have a long golf course. There's no reason to have a long golf course. We're going to have a fun golf course, a recreational golf course, but it'll look like something that they say, hey, Jack Nicklaus was here. That's what I'm hoping they'll say, because that's not from the standpoint of playing golf, but from the standpoint that the look that we put on something, and we'd like to be very proud of it, and hopefully we'll have that here too.
You have a number of golf courses. Is this going to be up there with one of the more proud ones of your own?
I think right now it's my number one.
Ken, what was it like to make that call? Was it hard to talk him into?
Nah, well, you don't know how he's going to react, but Jack, in 5 seconds, he'd count me in.
That was a quick call.
I called him correct.
Jack, when you
That's why I said it was quick.
So Jack, when you said yes, obviously you like Ken, but are you surprised how personal this became to you? I mean, is it a lot more personal than you might have thought
Well,
it
it
was?
was very personal to Ken.
Right.
And Ken has been my friend for a long, long time. And I didn't have any idea what I was getting into when I started, and none whatsoever until I came up here. I came up here shortly after Ken and I talked, and then I saw what was going on, what it was. I said, well, hey, I made the right decision. And it was a pretty quick decision, but also I knew that trusted Ken's judgment, and when I got here I found out, and since that time now we want to get this done, and we want to also love to have the opportunity to do this in a lot more places.
As this works out over the next few years, how often do you think you're going to be coming back? How much of this is going to be a part of your life?
Oh, I won't spend a tremendous amount of time here. I don't have the time to spend, but you know, it's getting it done, getting my people in here, making sure that it's done properly, and making sure that it's done the right way for and the right purpose.
And I was just talking to Aaron, the Iraq War veteran over here that lost his right arm and right leg. He said, with tears in his eyes, without this place, without this outlet, for me, he goes, I might not be here today. That's how important mentally it's been in his life.
There's many guys who feel the same way. And, you know, after talking with a lot of them all over the country, and talking to the guys here with this particular golf course, they say, you know, it's just absolutely changed my life. They came back from Iraq or Iran or Afghanistan, and they, you know, they said there wasn't any chance for them, and this has helped them rehabilitate their lives. It's, you know, if it helps one, it's worth the whole thing.
People call you a hero, a legend. You're helping out some folks that may be also worthy of that kind of title.
I would think so. I didn't have the privilege of serving my country back in our time, and but I'm having a lot of fun and being part of it today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, sir.
Enjoy.
To the VA hospital in Lakewood, a very special golf course has operated on a shoestring for years with no government assistance, no paid employees. Today, American Lake Veterans Golf Course took a huge step forward with the help of a legend. KOMO 4's Eric Johnson shows us how that step was taken.
To understand what it means for Aaron Boyle to line up this shot, you need to know where he's been.
When I woke up in the hospital after a 5-day coma, I looked at my injuries and I was like, no, this is a dream. Threw the blanket back on, went back to sleep, woke up, and reality struck me.
So today, hitting a golf ball is a big deal. A piece of normalcy that he says led him through a devastating time in his life.
Don't miss it, Jim.
Jim Martinson lost his legs in Vietnam. The American Lake Veterans Golf Course is a haven for him as well, and many others. Now it's about to get much better thanks to a phone call to a legend.
Jack, in 5 seconds, they'd count me in.
That was a quick call.
I called him collect.
When Jack Nicklaus designs a golf course, there is instant cachet because he is one of the world's best. He has agreed to design 9 more holes for the nation's only golf course specifically designed for wounded and disabled veterans, and he's not charging anybody anything.
You know, we would love to see this happen across the country, but we got to start somewhere. And so we're starting here. Well, I think it's a pretty good place. I mean, if you happen to look at what's here and look what's going on and look what's going on in our world today, these kids that come back and need our help, it's a pretty good place to be. There we go.
It won't be a long course, but Jack says it'll be beautiful. The sand traps will be shallow so the specially designed carts can get in. Everything will be made so that soldiers, warriors, heroes have a place to play.
We'll look forward to coming back up here on a variety of occasions to be part of what you're doing. So thank you very much for being here today.
He knows what we all know. They deserve it. Eric Johnson, KOMO 4 News.
Legend is helping heroes at Joint Base Lewis McChord. Golfer Jack Nicklaus is putting his name and expertise behind a unique golf course in Pierce County.
South Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson spoke with soldiers who say it's a venture that will save lives. It's new at 5:30.
Great day for golf.
It's not private.
I love this golf course.
But it's not open to everyone.
I played here back in 1960.
At the American Lake Veterans Golf Course, only veterans and their guests can tee it up. Recently, it's become a popular place for soldiers recovering from wounds suffered overseas.
Oh my God.
Volunteers and donors keep the 9-hole course running, and there's no backer bigger than Jack Nicklaus.
So I didn't have the privilege of serving my country back in our time, and but I'm having a lot of fun and being part of it today.
2, 3.
The Golden Bear is throwing more than $500,000 worth of his expertise into designing what will be called the Nicklaus 9, another 9 holes for the veterans.
He's doing a great service to the country by doing this.
Staff Sergeant Leroy Petrie knows a little something about service. He earned the Medal of Honor after losing his arm in Afghanistan while picking up and trying to throw a live enemy grenade to save American lives.
Little sensors do that, huh?
One will pick it up to open and one to close.
I'll do that.
Petrie now works with soldiers returning from war and says spending time on the golf course helps them heal. He thinks expanding the course could save lives.
People with no purpose, direction, they think that's the end of the world, come out here and realize that there's a lot to do and a lot to see.
Whether they hit the ball 30 yards or they hit it 300 yards, it really doesn't make much difference. It's actually getting out and doing something, being part of it, and doing with people that are having the same problems that they are having.
Jack Nicklaus has designed nearly 300 highly ranked golf courses around the world. And after hearing what this course could mean to veterans,
right now it's my number one.
Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
The new 9-hole course will be the first ADA-approved course Nicklaus has designed. Despite today's groundbreaking, volunteers say they still need to raise more money to pay for the expansion, and they're hoping to have the Nicklaus 9 ready for golfers within 2 years.
No pressure, Aaron. No pressure, Aaron. Nah, you swing at it.
What was it like to be up here and swinging a club in front of probably the greatest man to ever swing a club?
It was the best thing that could have ever happened. It was the best thing. I'd never met him. This was the first time I'd met him. I've seen him on interviews and around on TV, magazines. I've seen his picture posted everywhere. PGA Tour talks about him all the time, and it was great to meet him. Don't look up and don't choke. No pressure on this golf course, right?
More local coverage now. Golf legend and Palm Beach County resident Jack Nicklaus is doing his part to honor the brave men and women who serve in our military. Nicklaus is putting his name and expertise behind a unique new golf course in Washington State. It's specially designed for and open only to military veterans. People involved say that the course will work as a sort of therapy and a getaway for wounded warriors.
So I didn't have the privilege of serving my country back in our time, and but I'm having a lot of fun and being part of it today.
He's doing a great service to the country by doing this. People with no purpose, direction, they think that's the end of the world, come out here and realize that there's a lot to do and a lot to see.
I love that. Jack Nicklaus has designed nearly 300 highly ranked golf courses around the world, but after hearing what this course would mean to veterans, he says it's his number one.